Hello, my name is Samantha. It is New Year's Eve, and today I am filming my 2022 cross-stitch finishes and WIP parade. I started this year with 12 WIPs, or works in progress. I started 19 new projects and finished 21, so I'm ending the year with 10 WIPs. I'll be referring to my notes. I have one project from 2017, one from 2019, two from 2020, 8 from 21, making the 12 previous to this year, and then the 19 new starts from this year. I'll be showing a total then of 31 projects in this video. That's the 10 WIPs plus the 21 finishes. They are all stitched on Aida. It's mostly 18 count, but with a few 14 and 16 mixed in. They're all stitched with DMC, and they were all stitched in hand. The white or oatmeal Aida I got from Michaels, and then the more colorful Aida I ordered from crossstitchingsupplies.com. I've used them for a little while now. They have really great sizing options for fabric and great prices, so I will link them in the description if you want to check them out. I will be going through the projects chronologically by start date, and then at the end I'm going to talk about my plans for 2023 and show some of the projects I plan to start in the beginning of the year. So let's get started. If, as I'm going through this, I forget to mention anything like the name of the project, the designer, the fabric it's on, I'll just add it to the bottom. We are starting with my oldest WIP, my most gigantic WIP. This is a full coverage. It is Disney Carnival by, I believe, Nenny Designs. If not, I'll just put it right here. This is going to be a gift, so if you are the people it is going to and you don't want to see it at all, close your eyes. Otherwise, I mean, everyone else is just seeing the back of it, but fair warning. So this is my full coverage. And so I started this 5 years ago today, December 31st, 2017. I didn't do much this year, so I have this panel left. And this year I did about that much. So not nothing, but not a ton. So here's this one. Next is Chalkboard Welcome by Doreen Jones. This one I started February 21st, 2019. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I just needed to grab a board to put behind it. So this is what it'll look like finished. This is where it's at now. So this year, I just added a little bit more to this curly Q at the bottom. It was about half of this, of what it was, and so not very much, but at least it was something. This is not a project I reach for a lot, but I do still want to finish it eventually at some point. That would be nice. It's on a 14 count black Aida. It's very nice, but yeah, it's not one I reach for often. Next is a finish. This is Halloween at Hawkburn Hollow by Carriage House Samplings. This one I started February 28th, 2020 and finished March 21st, 2022. And the parts that I finished this year was the bottom half of this one, and then this block and this block. So I'll try and do close up. Hopefully that's in frame the way I want it to be. So if it was, that's great. If not, I'll insert some close-up pictures. Next is Advent Animals by Brooks Books. I'm doing this all together on the same piece of fabric. Started May 1st, 2020. This was my Stitch Mayhem project that year. Almost done. I have like 4.5 blocks at the bottom left to go. And again, this is one that kind of since my initial progress on it. So I did basically all of this in 2020. Barely touched it last year. I don't know if I put any stitches in this year. If I did, it was like just a handful. And again, like with Chalkboard Welcome, I would like to finish it. I just am not sure when that's going to happen. All right, we're now up to the 2021 starts. So started January 2nd, 2021. This is In Bulk by the Elven Forest. This is the second of this series that I've done, and the first of 3 that I finished this year for this series. So this was finished January 1st, 2022. I don't know if I said that. So it took basically exactly a year to finish. I don't know why. It's quite small. At the end of my WIP parade last year, this had like half an hour of work left on it. So I finished it right at the beginning of the year. I finished, I want to say 4 things in the first 2 days of this year. So I had a very, very productive start to this year. Okay, next one is a finish. This is, I think, pretty impressive. So this is Zodiac Sampler by Clouds Factory. Started January 4th, 2021. Finished February 15th, 2022. And when I started the year, I had all of this middle, I had the border done, and 3 of the characters filled in. So I did the rest of the character circles this year. In the middle. So, and this is stitched on a 18 count navy Ada. Then on January 16th of 2021, I started Temperature Typography by Stitch and Mommy. Finished January 1st, 2022. And you'll notice with this one that it's not centered. So this is what happened. So normally I am a center starter, but when you're doing a temperature piece and starting at the beginning of the year, you can't really center start. So I was like, not a big deal. I know I gave myself a 2-inch border, so I just need to go 2 inches in, 2 inches down and start. And so I did for January. Except January is not the is not the edge of this project. So it's 2 inches from here, but it's not 2 inches from here. But you know, you stitch and you learn. So I stitched and I learned. This is also my first temperature piece. I also have one that I did for 2022, and I'm starting another one for 23, which you'll see in just a little bit. On July 23rd, 2021, which is the day my niece was born, I started Neverland by Magic Stitching. Let me get a little straight. This is stitched on a 16 count lock, LOCH by Picture This Plus. And as like my WIP parade from last year, it just needs to finish the back stitching. I was like, oh, I'll finish it, you know, by July for her first birthday. No. I'll finish it by the end of the year. No. It just needs back stitching on like this half. No, this half. This half needs back stitching. And yeah, it's not done yet. It looks good. I wanted to pick fabric that looked like water. I think I did well there. But yeah, it just almost. All right, we're on to page 2. All right, next, cat hair. Where did all that come from? Okay, the next one, the finish was a gift, so I'll show a picture of it. It is Circus by Stitchrovia, stitched on 18 count oatmeal Aida. This was a gift for one of my best friends. She used to work for the circus, traveled the country on the circus train, worked in their costuming department. So this was her Christmas gift this year. She loved it. Started September 4th, 2021 and finished January 15th of this year. Next is one that the Etsy listing didn't really have a name for it, so I just call it Chairman Sanders. It is of Bernie Sanders at the Biden inauguration. Started September 8th, 2021. That's actually Bernie's birthday. Finished January 2nd of this year. This is a 18 count white Aida. And then I have another one that was a gift. It is Mr. and Mrs. by Spruce Craft. This was made for my friend's 1-year wedding anniversary. Started November 8th of last year, finished January 1st of this year. Up next is my last new start from 2021. It is Temperature Bookshelf by Christie's Corner. Started December 28th of 2021. And this is where I'm at. So I've got a few more days to add to January, and then the rest of the shelf, and then the little accessory pieces. So I have a skull outlined for October, and then November, and I have this is a snow globe, so it's outlined, but just need to finish that. So this is my 2022 temperature chart. It is Temperature Bookshelf. Next is my first start of 2022. It is Silhouettes by Teresa Kogut. This one was started January 2nd and finished March 17th. So I got through it pretty quickly. And this is stitched with 2 DMCs. The variegated is, I don't know, I'll put it right here. It's one of my favorite DMC variegated. And this is on 18 count vintage country mocha. This was my first time using this fabric, and I understand why everyone loves it. It is a wonderful color. And then we have one that's actually fully finished. This is Party Business by LC Stitches. I made this one for my birthday party. This was started January 17th and finished February 9th. And my birthday is at the end of February. This is an 18 count oatmeal Aida. Okay. Next is Ostara by the Elven Forest. This one I did change some of the design and colors. So this is how it's originally designed. And then what I did with it. This was started January 31st and finished February 13th. And Ostara is a celebration of the spring equinox. So it says, warm the air, bring sunlight in, blossom by blossom, let spring begin. Page 3 is also a gift. So this is It Is Your Birthday by Hipster Stitch. I made this for my mom's birthday. She is a big fan of The Office. I started this February 16th and finished March 4th. It is, I want to say a 14 count white, but maybe it's an 18. I'm not sure. I don't remember. So next one is an important one. It is Protect Trans Kids. This is designed by Jen Cross Stitches. It was started March 2nd and finished March 4th. I'm trying to get both myself and there we go. I will link the Etsy listing for this one if anyone wants to stitch this. The next one was done as part of Stitch for Ukraine. This is Little Witches Ukraine by the Laurel Witch. This is on an 18 count white Aida, started March 17th, finished March 19th. And in addition to stitching, I didn't want my advocacy to be limited to just stitching. So I found an organization based in Ukraine called Voices of Children, Voices for Children. Put it right here. They work with kids in Ukraine as sort of a like trauma intervention. So they do some great work. I've donated to them twice now. I will also link them in the description if you want to learn more about them or make your own donation. I then have another full coverage. This was started March 31st. This is A Sunday Afternoon on the Island of Le Grand Jatte by Allerton Embroidery. And I think for 8 months of stitching, this is excellent progress. I was hoping to have a little bit more done by the end of the year, but I'm very pleased with this. So I just have these, okay. I have the man and the woman here. One is sort of standing in front of the other. A little bit of the grass at the bottom to fill in. And then, hold on. Then there's the guy lying down here, and then the two people here. But I love that this is a really good mix of block stitching and detailed stitching, especially for a full coverage. I really like the way that this was designed. I am planning on doing some more full coverages by this designer over the next few years. I'm hoping to get that one done like by middle of the year, like June, and then start the next full coverage. On April 16th, I started Love Always Wins by Massandra Gifts. Finished this on April 22nd. So this was my pride stitch for the year. Not that there can be like one a year. You can, speaking of pride all year, D's 20 Stitches is organizing a year-long Stitch for Pride. I will link their Instagram post about it in the description. It's a mix of stitching prompts and learning prompts. I think it'll be fantastic, so please do check that out and follow the hashtag. So this is Love Always Wins. This is a 18 count navy Ada. And then next is the next one in the series by the Elven Forest. This is Letha, which is the celebration of the summer solstice. This one I also changed quite a bit on the original design, which looks like this. And then again, here is what I did with it. And this one says, "'Tis the longest day of lingering light. We honor the sun in all of its might." This is on an 18 count oatmeal. Was started April 30th and finished May 31st. The next I have what I think is my first Tiny Modernist piece. It's a Mermaid Life. Started May 15th and finished June 9th. I also changed the skin tone of the mermaid at the top. I did that with a few of the pieces I have for this year. And this is on a 18 count light blue Ada. The next one, again, based on a very important issue. This is Keep Abortion Legal. This is part of the pro-choice sale by the Notorious Needle. So the full piece has several motifs in it. I chose to do just this part of it. And when did I start this? Started May 29th, finished June 4th. Yeah. Very important. Next one is a full coverage, again by Allerton Embroidery, which is the designer who did A Sunday Afternoon. This is I Want to Believe. This was started June 14th, finished September 19th. It's on an 18 count white Ada. Based on, obviously, the X-Files, if you're not familiar. This next one is still a WIP. It's my second piece by Tiny Modernist, and my second time using Vintage Country Mocha. I wanted something that looked like sand, and went with this one. So I've got a little bit more up here, just the top corner, and then there's another band at the bottom. So this is Summer Band Sampler by Tiny Modernist. It says, "Let summer set you free, feel the breeze and smell the sea." Next one is also a WIP. This is Christmas Tree Lights by Julia Studio Design. It's on an 18 count black. Started July 28th. It's sort of a Christmas in July start. And then we have another finish. This is Witching Hour by the Prairie Schooler. And you may notice, like, so this is how it's originally designed. I did take out the lettering. Just didn't speak to me. So I moved things around a little bit. I started this October 9th and finished October 16th. So I made really, really excellent quick progress with this one. On an 18 count oatmeal Aida. Next. This one I think is my last finish of the year. This is Puritan Witch by Wild Violet Cross Stitch. This is stitched on a 16 count chalkboard black Aida. So it's kind of a dark gray. It came with 3 different variations of hair color and skin tone, which I think is nice when the designers provide those options. Oh, I don't think I said the date for this one. So started October 24th, finished November 6th. Okay, we are on the last page. We have 2 more. Started November 7th. We have Miss November by Sugar Stitches. This is on an 18 count Dirty Aida by Swagart. It's maybe a little warmer than it's showing, but that is pretty true. So I have just this bottom corner and then the bottom of her dress. And then the last one, my last start of the year, is my new temperature pattern for 2023. It's the Temperature Supernova by Climbing Goat Designs. I started, this is like my smallest, the smallest amount I have on any of the projects. Started December 8th. Just a little bit. Oh, that's getting a weird, there we go, that's better. So yeah, in between each of the temperature weeks, there's like a partial white outline, so that's what that is, if you can't tell what that is. I was also very impressed with the PDF pattern for this one. It had just so much information. It had so many varieties of, like, if you want to use 20 colors, if you want to use 40 colors, and like several options in between. So that is everything. That is the 31 projects that I have, the 21 finishes and 10 WIPs that I have for going into 2023. And I think that one of the reasons that WIP parades are cool, other than I love watching other people's, and it shows you like what you still have to work on, but also all that you finished. Like that's a whole hunk of projects. So I'm pleased with that. I'm very pleased with that. Okay, so now let's talk plans for 2023. Okay, so first off, how I organized when I was starting things for 2022 was, so okay, originally my idea was to do New Moon, New Start, which when I heard of, I was like, that's such a spectacular idea. Yes, I'm doing that. But then, like, I finished 5 projects in January of this year, and I was like, I'm running out of things to work on. So I was like, okay, let's adjust this. Each new moon and full moon, I have the option to start something. And that did work really well. And I used that through most of the year. I think I did it through July, took August and September off, and then kind of went here. It was like hit or miss for the rest of the year, whether I did something or skipped. And part of the reason I liked this approach was that going into 2022, I was like, I really want to focus on spacing things out. So it definitely worked for that. And it was like about every 2 weeks, I had the option to start something new. And in the first half of the year, I was finishing things at a really good pace. So I felt comfortable, for me, felt comfortable also continuing to start new things. And then, in the middle of the year, like I got COVID in June. I went on vacation, I went on vacation in August. Work is generally busier in the summer. So I was like, I was finishing things less often. So I'm like, okay, let's wait. Let's put it off, a few times. And then as I felt comfortable starting more things, I started more things. So it did work. But I do want to change how I'm doing that for 2023. Because even with all the things I liked about that approach, there were times where like I wanted to start something, but it doesn't happen to be a new moon or full moon, and because I'm like have set this up for myself, that I then couldn't start something. So like I couldn't have a birthday start, or like just in commemoration or in memory of like whatever. Like I would fit it in, but just like if there was a specific day where it's like, I wish I could have like a Christmas Day starter, for example. Well, that doesn't really work. So I wanted to add a little more flexibility, I guess. So for 2023, the plan for scheduling new starts is going to be that as long as I can come up with a reason for why this day gets a new start, I have the option of starting something. So I'm going to have a new year, new start. I'm going to have like a birthday start. But I can also do things that like randomly pop up in the year. So for example, and I'm thinking that I also want to match the project to the reason. So for example, on January 9th, I'm having an echocardiogram, which is basically an ultrasound of your chest. And so I will then be starting, I think it's like Geometric Heart by, I'll put it down below, I don't remember, I should have checked, as a echocardiogram new start. And then on my birthday, at the end of February, I'm going to be starting this Pisces chart as a birthday start. I'm a Pisces, so that those days and the project go together. The other thing I'm going to be doing throughout the year, so I'm doing a year-long sale. It's a full moon sale. I should have made a list of these designers before I was going to talk about this. I'll put it right here. So this is, the first one is going to be my New Year, New Start, because the January full moon is like the 6th, maybe the 7th. It's early in the month. So the first one is going to be my New Year, New Start. And then my thought was to have each new moon, new start be for that next month's, or that coming full moon, which only gives me like 2 weeks, but they are quite small. So I'll start doing that, and then if I feel like I want to give myself more time, I'll sort of like find a way to double up and do it like a month ahead of time. Because I want to have that full moon done by the time of that month's full moon. The other thing I'm doing throughout the year is, so I want this to be my year of ornaments. I've never made a cross-stitch ornament before, and I just got the idea in my head that I wanted to have an ornament tree for next Christmas. So I have a 3-foot tree. It'll be perfect for it. I'm going to get a bunch of those like 3-inch wooden hoops to finish them all in. So on the 25th of each month, I'm going to start a new ornament, and then probably in July, do like a Christmas in July and start more of them in that month. That's the plan. So I'm going to have my temperature supernova to do throughout the year. I'm going to have a full moon to do each month. I'm going to have at least one ornament to do each month. And then probably one other new start a month, which feels like a lot. But both the moon piece and the ornament pieces are very small. They shouldn't take that long. And I can choose whenever I want to have a start date or not. As long as I can come up with a reason, and I'm going to try and match the project to the reason. we'll see how that goes. But that is the plan. That's the plan. Another one that I want to start early-ish in the year, which originally I thought maybe it'll be like in March for a spring equinox start, but then I was like maybe in April for an Earth Day start, because it is this piece. It's a Carl Sagan quote, and like it would fit for either one. I was like, well, maybe I start it in March and hopefully have it done for Earth Day, because that's the other thing that I'm not quite sure on. Well, that's the other thing with this idea for my plans for 2023. Because I would schedule to start things last year so that they would be done by a specific day. Like I'd start like a Halloween piece, or like my Christmas piece, hoping that it would be done like by that holiday or that season. Whereas now I'm more connecting the project to the start date rather than starting it at a certain time so it'll be done by a certain day or time. Like with my planned birthday start being the Pisces. Well, if I, then maybe I finish a Pisces piece in like July where it's not Pisces season anymore, but I started it in Pisces season, even though it won't be done in Pisces season. But I think I'm just gonna have to let that go. I think, like, I can try and make it work, but like, what Halloween reason am I gonna come up with in May or August that I can connect a reason to the project and then it'll be done by October? Maybe I'll get creative. I don't know. How do you do it? Like, do you more focus on, I'm starting this today because of whatever reason, or I'm starting it today because I want to finish it by a specific day or season? We'll see how it goes. Honestly, I could change all of this if I wanted to. I could try it for however long I wanted to and then change it whenever for whatever reason. It's all fine. I will also say that, so my channel is like a mix of a ton of different things, but I will link my flosstube playlist in the description if you want to watch some other of my cross-stitch videos. Yeah, I have past WIP parades. I have 2 vlogs for 24 hours of cross-stitch. I will also link my Instagram if you want to follow me there. And I think that is everything. So I hope you have enjoyed this WIP parade. I hope you have enjoyed dozens of other WIP parades, because there are dozens to enjoy. There's probably hundreds to enjoy, let's be honest. But that's a wonderful thing. So, Happy New Year and happy new stitching.